What's good, everybody? Welcome into Early Edge Live, your daily sports betting show of record. We are counting down to Monday Night Football, the last game of Week 5. It's the Colts. It's the Ravens. We've got your spreads. We have totals. We have props all over the place. Now, as many of you know, we had some issues this morning on the show. And full disclosure, I have spent the last several hours dealing with it. That's why we are 3 minutes late. And I've got some good news and I have some bad news, and we'll get into all of that. But understand this, and let me make myself very, very clear. I love doing this show. I love doing this brand. We're growing. But this is not the only show that I've been offered. So if it continues the way it's gone today, then I may or may not continue on the show. But just because the bosses are not on my side, I have all of you at home. So I need you, if you're on my side, I'm going to shout you out. If you write Coach and then you write your Twitter handle, you'll get a shout out live here on the show. I'll say your name. Boom, boom. I'll jump in. I'll interrupt. Also, tonight in the YouTube comment section, if some of you can't make a comment, that's because the bosses have said the only people allowed to make comments now are people who follow our YouTube page. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to join SportsLine, although we want you to, but you have to follow us at SportsLine, subscribe to our YouTube page, and keep your Twitter handle in the live chat. They are cracking down, and I'm not kidding, but I'm going to continue to have fun. Now, let's bring in the stars of the show, being very clear that I'm the superstar of this show. Now, a man who normally is on my side. He is an absolute guru. He's a rock star. You see him right below me. He can't wait for these shows. Alex, Prop Stars at Twitter. Hello, sir.
What's up, Coach? What's up, gentlemen? I love this lineup. I was just texting my mom trying to explain to her why she can't view the stream tonight, telling her she has to subscribe. So, yeah, Mom, if you're out there, I hope you're watching and everything's good.
We love Mom. We love Mom. Now, a man who doesn't always like conflict. He doesn't always like it when not everybody gets along. But sometimes that's what you do in a family. See ya. Hopefully you're good tonight. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little touch and go right now. I got to be honest with you. It's a little uncomfortable. But with all of that said, I am happy to be with this crew. And I'm hoping we can replicate some of what we did last Monday night.
Oh, we're just cashing tickets. Kidney, I see you. Kelsey, I see you. Sean, I see you. Stadia, I see you. I see you, Jacob. I see everybody out there. Let's go. Keep writing Coach and your Twitter handle. M Squared. I saw you earlier today getting in the mix a little bit. Good evening.
Good evening, Coach. Yeah, just finishing up DFS for everybody. I know some people are asking me why the site isn't updated. It will be in about 5 minutes. But yeah, fired up, ready to go. Looking forward to this game more than I thought I was initially. I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I do too. I think there's going to be a ton of props that we're going to play, a lot of stuff. And so let's get right into it. So there's one more person I need to introduce to the show. And I know you. And when I say the bosses, people are like, who are the bosses? Because if you see Noah Stanley in the comment section, that's one of the head bosses. That's one of the guys that I've been dealing with today. And AB is his right-hand man, just so you all know that. Oh, and of course, I didn't tell anybody to write jeweler. I said write Coach. AB, I'm going to be professional. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Coach. Guys, I missed the show this morning. Did we all get in on the Bills -3?
Shut up. Shut up. All right, let's get it.
Also, who's ready for some unders and kicker pops? Let's go.
All right, now, some of the rules have changed. Jason, I see you. Handy, I see you. Now, he said, show yourself, Noah. Now, I'm not kidding. I told you the last couple of days, you got very lazy on me. Hitting that like button. Let's pound that like button. So tonight, here's what the bosses have made me do, and I can't change this. We have to get to 500 likes. Then and only then will I give away 5 annual memberships to SportsLine. Then 600, we'll do the elusive pint glass giveaway. 700 T-shirt, 900 both. And then if we can get to that Shangri-La number of 1,000 likes, well, you're going to get a very, very cool action figure of myself still in the package, courtesy of Prop Stars. But for the here and the now, you better pound that like button because they're not going to allow me to be loose anymore. But go, boys, let's get into it. There it is right there. Let's bring it on Alex. There is the 1,000 likes prize. Let's make it happen. I don't want to wait weeks. I want to do this on one of these live shows very, very soon. All right, guys, we got a lot to get to, so let's get into it right now. Colts-Ravens, here's the number. It's been hovering for the better part of a week. We told everybody on the mega preview, you better get it before it hits 7 because it will go above that. It has. It's 7.5. The total sitting at 46.5. The Colts, 1-3 straight up, 2-2 against the spread. Ravens, 3-1 straight up, 2-2 against the spread. Sia, I like you the most, so I'm going to let you start the discussion on whether you like the number or whether you like the total tonight. What do you got?
I liked the number quite a bit at 7. That hook really kind of bothers me a little bit. And I know some people on the show would not want the suggestion of, hey, buy the hook down to 7. But honestly, if you miss the good number, I might suggest that. I will say this, and we'll talk about it later. It's funny because Alan talked about this last week, how the Ravens are aware of certain things. Harbaugh is aware of certain things with respect to the rushing, the preseason record, things of that nature. I think the Ravens might be aware that they blow out teams at home, and that was their track record last year, 5-0 against the spread with I think it was a spread of 7 or greater or something of that nature. We'll go over it later, but Colts are too banged up on both sides of the ball, so I think I like the Ravens here.
Okay, very good. We do have a YouTube question. How do I hit the like button if you're watching on your iPhone? Unfortunately, you can't do it on your iPhone, I don't believe. It has to be an iPad or a computer. But thank you for watching on your iPhone, wherever you might be at. M Squared, your thoughts on the spread or on the total tonight, sir?
I'll hit them both here. I think that 8 is the appropriate number and 45 is the number that I have. So it's relatively efficient and 2 numbers that are tough. I will say out of all the games that we've seen that have this 7 to 8 or 7 and 7.5 point spread recently, I think this one is the most vulnerable to a backdoor cover by the Indianapolis Colts. Just kind of the way that these two teams play. I think that we're all pretty confident that the Colts should be down 7 to 14 points in this game, late in the game. But I am a little worried about them on the backdoor cover. I would elect to tease this game. I'll give you guys that teaser and same game parlay towards the end of the show. But according to my model, the numbers should be -8 and it should be 45. So do with that what you will. The leans at that point would be lean under and lean to the Ravens. But again, I do think this one is very vulnerable for a backdoor cover.
Okay. By the way, as always, I made a mistake 4 minutes into the show. On your iPhone, you close the chat. The like button comes. What are you laughing at, AB? You close the chat, you hit the like button, then you can open the chat back up. You got to follow our YouTube channel in order to make the chat. So there you go. And thank you very much in there. I see you, William. I see you, Kelsey. I see you, Lydia. Lydia wants team family. That's all right. We're still together. Don't even worry about it. All right, AB, your thoughts before I get to Alex and his thoughts on the props. Total, side, which are you leaning towards?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to say, first off, in the morning show, someone in the chat said, Coach, I stand with you. Don't pay attention to Chick-fil-A B. And I died. I'm telling you, I was standing in my kitchen cracking up. It's one of the funniest comments I'd ever seen. I agree with both C and Mike. I think that this game all depends on how many points do you think the Colts are going to score? Do they score 10 or do they score 21? I think we're all pretty sure where the Ravens are going to end up. I mean, their games have been pretty consistent. They're anywhere from 23 to 27, and I think that probably plays out again tonight. It all depends on can the Colts put points on the board, right? So I think I would lean to the under. Certainly not going to do it, and I don't feel great about that, but I feel the Ravens in this one. I think that their passing game, they figured something out, and they want to exploit that, really similar to what CEO was saying earlier. So definitely lean heavily more to the Ravens than I do one side or the other on the total.
All right, I've got a stat that's going to back that up and back up what CEO was talking about. By the way, Johnny, I see you. Danny, I see you. Brian, I see you. Now, as touchdown home favorites last season, to your point, Sia, here are the scores the Ravens had. Cleveland 38-6. Cincinnati 27-3, Dallas 34-17, Jacksonville 40-14, and the New York Giants 27-13. So when they're like that, 5-0 against the spread, and they blow teams out, just blow them out by double figures. So, Alex, let me come to you. If this is the game script tonight, what are the type of props that everybody should be looking at? Oh, no. Oh, he did it. He did it.
The J Smooth.
Oh, you pulled a J Smooth. All right, go ahead. You're loud now.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting game to me, Coach. There's a lot of really fascinating matchups going on. The Ravens blitz as much as any defense in the NFL. Don Wink Martindale is extremely creative with all the various blitzes. Pretty much all 11 guys on the field from the secondary down blitz. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. The Colts offensive line is banged up. Eric Fisher, their starting left tackle, is still recovering from Achilles injury. He hasn't looked 100%, and they are down their right tackle. Brandon Smith is missing in this game. So I think that's a big plus, and that's a big advantage for Baltimore. They should have a big edge in the pass rush. Surprisingly, though, I did find it interesting to learn that Carson Wentz has actually fared well against the blitz, at least this season in his first 3 games. However, something to pay attention to is his average time to throw of 2.88 seconds is the 9th highest in the NFL. That could make life a lot easier for Baltimore's pass rush to get home. So yeah, a lot of the props I'm looking at kind of are contingent on some of these game script related things that I'll kind of get into later.
I love it when you talk like that to us all. We're going to get to the props in about 15 minutes from right now. By the way, YouTube comment from Sean. He says, Coach, how come you keep saying Sia's name after you say everybody else's name? I guess I didn't even realize I was doing. I was like, hey, John, I see you. Very funny, Sean. Very, very funny. I'll try to change. Now I'm going to be second guessing myself all the time. I know. It's hilarious. Phil. I'm catching you. I can't even say it without saying I see you. All right. All right. Keep putting Coach in the comments section. We'll get a shout out here on the show. Remember, we've got to get to 500 likes tonight. I'll give away 5 year-long memberships because the bosses, they ain't happy with you at home. I am. I got you. Bosses, they're not happy. You got lazy the last couple of days. All right. So we are crossing the bottom of the hour. A new group of people coming in to the chat. YouTube channel. You got to follow the YouTube channel in order to be able to comment in the comment section. So let's get into our official play, guys, for the game here tonight. So, AB, I'm going to come to you. What do you got for us tonight?
Yeah, as I was talking with Noah Stanley, which we do every day, we talk live, being best friends as we are, right? And we talk about this game. What, you got a stoic look on your face, Coach?
I'm just disgusted at this point. Just give me your damn pick.
I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson over 233.5 passing yards. Look, he's eclipsed this number in all 4 games this season. The last 2, he eclipsed it by 50+ in both of them. He's averaging 8.9 yards per pass in the last 2 games, and he leads the NFL in air yards per attempt at 11.6, actually, which is kind of surprising, but it goes back to what Sia was saying with this team, that they understand that when they get the pass game going, they're that much more lethal, and it actually helps their defense out as well. So, yeah, Lamar Jackson over 233.5 pass yards.
Oh, I like that a lot. Just when you don't think he's going to go high, he has a lot of 30, 40-yard passes because nobody can guard his guys because they think he's going to run. We've seen it all the time. I love that number. Phil, Braden, C-Dub, WV, I see you all in there. I really, really do. I'm going to say C. I don't have anything else I can say. Keep writing Coach in there. Keep pounding that like button. Let's get to 500 so I give away 5 year-long subs. All right, M Squared, what do you got for us tonight?
I've got a few plays tonight. The first one is going to be Nyheim Hines over 22.5 receiving yards. A lot of what Alex was mentioning, this Ravens team is going to blitz. That's their method of attack. They try to blitz. They allow a lot of passes to tight ends. However, I think that they're going to use Nyheim Hines for a lot of these quick passes out of the backfield, especially as the game script flips in our favor. So he's got this upside literally in 1 catch, but I think this will be the game that he has the 5 to 10 targets in this one. So I think this number at 22.5 is really soft. I honestly can't believe it didn't open at least 24.5. I would expect it to close at that number, but that's my first play. And then my second play is going to be Marquise Brown, longest reception over 22.5 or 23.5. I would play it even at 24 still. He's gone over this number pretty much every week. If you look at the number of targets that he's getting and the depth of the targets, it's easily exceeding this. His average depth of target is great on the year, over 16 yards, which is a huge number considering how many he gets close to the line of scrimmage in certain scripts as well. And then if you look at his yards after reception, he's top 10 in the NFL in terms of the yards after the catch. Obviously makes sense. He's a lot like Tyreek Hill. He's fast. If he gets the ball, gets behind you, he's going to take it a long way. So I think you can lean over on his receiving yardage if you want to, but I prefer the longest reception. Miles Boykin is active tonight. That's going to change things just a touch. But if anything, I think it helps him get free on one deep ball more than anything. So I lean to his reception longest yardage over the total, but I do have a minor edge on the complete over the yardage as well.
which when you have a minor edge, that means it's a major edge over the books and over everybody else. That's for sure. Alex, I'm going to come to you because I know you're going to back up the first play from Mikey. But real quick, you guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing at home. We're already sailing over 600 likes on the show in the first 13 minutes or first 14 minutes. You guys are amazing. So we're collecting those names. Remember, in order to win, you got to put your Twitter handle in the comment section, and we'll get those winners out in the next couple of minutes. Let's get to 700, 900, because we got a lot of prizes I want to give out. You have told the bosses right here in the first 20 minutes you don't care about them. I care about you. So here's what we're doing. We're already over 600. Let's get to 700. All right, I feel like an auctioneer tonight, because I'm here for the fans. The bosses are not here for you. I am, and I love you all. All right, Alex, let's come to you now because you love one of the props that M Square just gave out. Which one is it?
Yeah, I love Nyheim Hines over 22.5 receiving yards. That is also my official prop for the game. I know Sia likes it as well. I also like Mike's other prop as well. As far as Marquise Hollywood Brown's longest reception, I'll touch on that just briefly. But as far as Hines is concerned, I think he just offers tremendous value. He's going to be a safety valve for Wentz. His presence can mitigate some of the blitzing that the Ravens are just do so much of. Like I mentioned before, they blitz as much as any defense. They're extremely creative with how they blitz, blitzing corners, safeties, etc. We saw DeAndre Swift, who profiles very similar to Nyheim Hines in week 3, the running back for the Lions. He had 60 receiving yards through the air. And he kind of does a lot of the same things for the Detroit offense that Hines does for this Colts offense. I just love his matchup tonight. Hines is also coming off of a game where he only had 4 touches versus Miami last week. I think he's going to be way more involved in this game plan. So, I absolutely love Nyheim Hines over 22.5 receiving yards. Just to touch on what Mike said regarding Hollywood Brown, I think he also has some really sneaky value. His longest reception, he's had 7 catches for over 20 yards this season. That's the second most in the NFL among wide receivers. And, the Colts also give up a lot of big plays. So, I love that as well.
What's weird is that my book right now, all the Hines props are off. I don't have any of them in my book right now. So let me know. Anybody else having his with whatever book you're using, let me know in the comment section if you're having a hard time finding the Hines prop. Hopefully it'll pop back up here in a couple of minutes. All right. Quick question to my M Squared, then I'm going to come to you for your picks. We have a YouTube question on the odds boost again. Touchdown in each half for each team. Mikey, we went over it last night. Would you like this play tonight?
Well, I mean, what's the number on the boost?
Let me find it real quick. Yeah, let me find it real quick. I apologize. We love these plays at Caesars, by the way. Absolutely love them. And now, of course, we have so many comments. You guys are amazing. So many people, and I can't even find it again. I am so sorry. I can't find it. It's already gone. It's already gone. So many people are talking. We'll get back to it if Jeweler can find it, because we're actually making Jeweler do a little bit of work right now because he's trying to find the winners. So we'll get back to that. Sia, let's come to you. What do you got tonight for us?
Well, I hate to go with Nyheim Hines again, but it's kind of a corollary to what Alex and M Squared have already talked about, and it's Hines over 2.5 receptions. So what's really interesting about that prop, and maybe the reason why some of these props are down on some of these sites is I think some of the numbers were just wrong. Like 2.5 receptions is just too low. You may, as a bookmaker, be looking back at last week and you see the 2 receptions, the 4 touches. Well, that was a positive game script against it may as well be a bye week against the Miami Dolphins at this point, but they were winning that game. They were the better team in that game. This is a completely different game script, most likely. And therefore, Hines is going to be utilized in a much different way. And you could maybe say the same thing about Jonathan Taylor in a more negative fashion. So Hines over, especially with the blitzing team and Wentz having to get the ball out really fast, there's going to be a couple beneficiaries of that. And Nyheim Hines is certainly the main one.
Okay, very good. The jeweler has just sent me some of the odds boosts at Caesars. If any of you out there that watch the show, I know many of you are, use Caesars. We do have several that we'll get into when we get into the props, but there's 5 different odds boosts from Caesars. All right, so it's that time of the show. And every time I bring this up, continue to pound that like button. We're going to get those giveaways, I promise you, very, very soon. It takes us a little while. But every time we get to this part of the show, my man Alex, just the ears go up, the chest goes out, the shoulders go back. He absolutely loves it. So whatever props you have or you have a question on, just put them in the comment section, all right? Put your Twitter handle there as well, and we'll get to as many as we possibly can right now. The first one I saw, Carson Wentz over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Did not get the number on it. But while I look up the number, Alex, do you like that over 1.5 just for him to do it tonight? Then I'll get you the number in a second.
I like it. I lean over, but I don't love it enough to make it a play. I do expect him to throw a lot. I do think there are some safer options if you're looking at some Wentz props that provide some more value. Specifically, Maestro, our very own Larry Hartstein, is on Wentz over 20.5 completions. I think that provides some more value. He's had at least 9 completions in every game. He's gone over in 2 of 4. He dinks and dunks a ton. The Ravens secondary has also been vulnerable this season. And game script could also be a factor with the Ravens playing with a lead. So, yeah, I'm looking more towards some of his passing props. I don't really care for the touchdown props as much.
All right, let's hit on some of those. See, let's come to you. And then, AB, you can follow up here. Lamar Jackson, pass. I don't like doing the attempts. Let's do the completions. So Lamar Jackson is at 18.5, while Carson Wentz, the Maestro's on that at 20.5. Would you like Lamar Jackson there, see, at 18.5?
I like it. I mean, I don't love it because I just wonder how much they're going. I mean, they're definitely going to pass the ball in the first half. I just wonder how much they're going to be passing in the second half. That number does seem kind of low, though. But I'll say this. I like the Carson Wentz completions more than I like the Lamar Jackson ones. So, I mean, I think, especially in a negative game script, the way he dinks and dunks and the way they'll probably be trailing in the third and fourth quarter, I would choose Carson Wentz over Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson, 18.5, it's a fair number for sure.
All right. By the way, I see Chad. I see you in the comment section. He says it's plus 200 that Carson Wentz rolls 2 ankles tonight in the game. That's pretty funny. I don't wish injuries on anybody, but man, Carson Wentz, he is just snake bitten. What about Michael Pittman? AB over 53.5 rush yards tonight.
That one's tough. Now, first off, I did want to say Justin Ross in the chat said he gave a shout out to the jeweler and the bosses and Noah Stanley. So that was a nice little shout out right there. Really appreciated that one.
I will cut your feet. If you do one more, I will cut your feet.
Let me say this. I don't love it. I really don't love it. I think that this game really comes down to both quarterbacks, specifically more Lamar Jackson than anything. And I'll say this. If you think that the Ravens are going to win a 24-10 style game where they're in control, go with his pass attempts. Go with his pass yards. It sounds different, but when they're in a tight game, they're going to revert back to the run and running him. So if you think that we have a 3-point game, a tie game, all the way throughout into the fourth quarter, they will revert back to their original offense that they're trying to get away from. So that's kind of how I look at it. Everything else, it can get up in the air very, very quickly. I said all that to say be careful. It can get dangerous in a hurry.
All right, let me go to M squared, and then JB wants me to go to Properly Long Pockets after that. So M squared, and then Alex.
Yeah, so as far as Carson Wentz to Michael Pittman, I do like it. I have a small edge on Pittman's over as it stands right now. However, I'm electing to not play it pregame. I think that they might struggle just a touch coming out of the gate. It's one that I'm looking to play live in-game once that number dips below 40 on the live line. Because that game, if he's struggling and is not racking up yards early, the game script is almost definitely going to be one where they're throwing late. And once that number drops from 53 to 40-ish in the second half, that's when I'll be interested. And then the only thing to mention on Carson Wentz, this is the first time he's had a full week of practice all season. He's been hurt all season, was hurt in the offseason, hurt in the preseason. This is the first week he has had a full practice with the team. Jack Doyle, the other tight end, is also back now, not on the injury report this week. This is about it, other than the offensive line. But as far as dunking passes around, this is the most healthy that Carson Wentz and the skill position players have been all season.
Well, very good. Alex, what do you got, pal?
Yeah, I got asked more about the Pittman Jr. prop over any play for this game, and I spent a lot of time on it. I am terrified of Marlon Humphrey, the corner for the Baltimore Ravens. He is their best cover. To me, he's the best cover corner in the NFL if you're just looking purely at coverage. He grades that way almost every year, according to PFF. They use him to shadow the opposing team's number one wide receiver, so he will be glued to Michael Pittman throughout the duration of this game, and he is absolutely a fantastic player. So while I'm not playing Pittman's under because he provides the upside and he is big enough of a physical mismatch to get off even on someone as good as Humphrey, I do not like his over because that matchup is just terrible for him.
All right, very good. We'll get back to a couple more props in a second, but you guys are absolutely amazing. It's amazing when you get emotional and you got my back here on the show, what can happen. We have over 1,200 people watching live on the show right now. Biggest audience we've ever had. If we can get to 1,000 likes, that action figure is out the door. But first things first, I've got winners right here, right now, 5 of them. Actually, more than 5. Here we go. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. At Yost Usher, at B Shanuel, at 80_J-Rod, at Vegas Regular 711, at P_Root 20. You are the newest members of SportsLine. Welcome to the family. We love having you. Best value in sports. You guys are going to be amazed at the site. Now, pint glass winner. These are very, very elusive. At Loadmeister. T-shirt winner. At Sino526 Ryan. Now, we're at 800 likes. We get to 900. I'm giving away a pint glass and a T-shirt to one person. If we get 200 likes, and we're going to be on the air for another half an hour, that thing is out the door. That one right there is out the door. Now, I may just make an AB action figure just for fun. Just for fun to give out here on the show. I don't know. We might. All right, let's get back to props because everybody has so many they want to get to. Let's talk rushing props, guys. And Alex, I'll come back to you and then raise your hand if you want to piggyback here. Lamar Jackson, 61.5. Carson Wentz. Some are saying 10.5. Others are saying it's 15.5. Hit on Lamar Jackson first. I want to make sure I get the right number on these rushing props for these quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's a high number for Lamar. Obviously, he is the preeminent rushing quarterback in the NFL. He is the best dual threat option. They lean on his legs to generate rushing yards. But we have seen, even though he is rushing for high totals every game, we have seen a high volume passing attack from this Baltimore offense. I don't know if they're going to need his legs in this game in order for them to win handily. So, yeah, I'm personally not playing the under. But, I don't love the over. As far as Wentz is concerned, our man R.J. White is over on his rushing prop, which definitely has my attention. When I heard that, I took a closer look at the play. I believe he had it at 9.5 yards. I'm not sure if that's what it currently is, Coach.
Tell me that again. Sorry, I was right now.
Carson Wentz's rushing yardage, 9.5. 10.5. So RJ's on it, which definitely has my attention. But yeah, considering how much this Baltimore defense blitzes from absolutely everywhere, they're extremely creative. They blitz members of their secondary, their safeties, their corners blitz. Pretty much every single position. So, yeah, I expect Wentz to have to rely on his legs a little bit tonight and be mobile and escape some of that pressure. And, the way to do that is to leave the pocket and use his legs a little bit. And he is a sneaky athlete, even though he has been just, destroyed by injuries, and he kind of is statuesque in the pocket. He actually, when he was at least with the Eagles, he would use his legs a lot, and he has some sneaky athleticism.
Aaron, classic. Thank you very much helping us out. It's now up to 13.5. Thank you, guys. AB, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, when Alex, speaks about this Baltimore Ravens offense not being the same as what it was last year, the year before, the first 2 games of the season, it's not. He's only rushed for over 100 yards once, right? I mean, he's averaging 60 yards per game. Like, this is not the same offense that you're used to with the Baltimore Ravens. They are really, really, really trying to, get that pass game going. The problem is that it can flip in a heartbeat. And if he does take off and goes, it only takes 1 or 2 of those long runs to get it. Now, his longest rush this season is 31 yards, right? Like, again, like everything that you think in your head, it's not the same team at all. The problem is that it can flip, especially if it's a tight game. So be careful with it. Like, I agree with Alex. Like, that number's kind of big, to be completely honest with you. But with him, you're always sitting right there in the danger zone, man.
Yeah, that's exactly right. See, let me come to you with a fun one from the YouTube comment section. Successful 2-point conversion tonight, plus 350. That's kind of cool. What do you think about that?
That's just not a prop I would ever take. I mean, let's put it this way. It is a prop I would take. It's never a prop I would recommend. I mean, it's just one of those things. If you're asking me to give you a yes or no, the answer is no. Okay. In terms of like take the other side of it, but I mean, I can't get in. No, it's just a no.
Okay, very good. All right, I see you, Bill Rad. Got his Early Edge T-shirt. If you want the link, it's in our bio section here at SportsLine on Twitter. You got to follow us anyway. We're at 843 likes. We can get to 900. I mean, if you haven't hit the like button yet, close the comments, hit the like button, open them back up, and just roll on. I have so many great people in the comment section right now. I see you, John, George, Michael, all of you guys are there tonight. I love it. Mike, Justin, very, very cool. M Squared, let's come back to you. Pascal, over 3.5 catches tonight.
That one's going to be completely dependent on game script. If you're in the camp that likes this game to be, them being significantly down, I think it's fine. It depends on the juice on it. I have it at 3.6. So as long as you're not laying more than minus 115, I don't know what the juice looks like there. I think it's okay to lean that way, but certainly not a prop that would be my favorite one to go jam in. I do think they try to funnel and hit the tight ends. I think it's a big Nyheim Hines day, frankly. But as PropStars talked about, they will be trying to limit Michael Pittman, so it could open up a few extra targets. But again, I think it goes to those other three, being the two tight ends, Nyheim Hines, and then maybe a little bit of Paris Campbell.
All right. What about, speaking of tight ends, and let's come back to you, Alex, and so many of you keep hitting that like button. Love you guys. JC, Chris, all you guys, Bird over there, Hinter, Gerardo. What do you make of Mark Andrews? Over 4.5 catches. It's plus 120, though. He's been a really dynamic target. Do you like that number tonight?
He is, but it's, again, we've been discussing whether or not Lamar and this Ravens offense is going to be throwing the ball in the second half. Is this going to be a game script where we're going to see another high-volume passing attack from the Ravens? I'm not sure they'll need to do that. So while I think Andrews is certainly capable of catching 5 passes, he's a very, very good tight end, very underrated. I just don't know if they'll actually need to or he'll see the sort of target share that requires, or the volume that requires, him getting enough targets to get 5 catches. So I don't love it for that reason. I'm not playing its under, but yeah, not one of my favorite props, just because I can see a run-heavy approach in the second half from Baltimore.
And let me just add to that, Coach. There's a lot of receivers in this group now. We have Miles Boykin back. James Prochet caught 5 out of 6 targets last week. Granted, it was more late in the game, but you also obviously have Marquise Brown and Devin Duvernay, if I didn't already say that, Sammy Watkins. So there's a lot to go around. I mean, Lamar's going to be able to pass if he chooses to do so, but it's not the same team that we had 1 and 2 years ago, where it was basically Mark Andrews and whoever the best receiver was. There's these younger guys, like a Devin Duvernay, for example, like a James Prochet. These guys are kind of growing up, and you add to that Sammy Watkins. There's just a lot of targets here.
Boom! Speaking of targets, we just hit 900 likes for the first time ever on the brand. And on behalf of everybody at SportsLine and the Early Edge, you're welcome. As the resident superstar of this show, it just is oozing out of my pores tonight. And I'm telling you, I changed the rules, and look what happens. I see you, Mago. I see you, Michael. Kelsey, you're back in it. Let's go, Aaron. All right. Now, I got to come back to AB, because we have a question on a kicker prop, and you're the only one I can go to. Over 1.5 field goals for, I can't even remember my writing, Blankenship. I believe that's the last name of their kicker. What do you like on field goal kickers tonight?
God, I would feel so much better with Justin Tucker, right? Like, I mean, he is automatic. Here's the hard part, okay? So when you watch this Ravens team, they will tell you so much with their first drive. They will tell you exactly what they want to do. They will tell you if they want to score fast, if they want to control the clock. They will give you their entire blueprint in the first drive. Guarantee it. The problem is, if the Colts can't score, the Ravens defense is very similar to the Bills, and I'm not making a joke. It's very similar to the Bills in this, that as the game goes along and their offense gets better, their defense gets better, and it gets harder and harder and harder to score. So you could be looking at halftime that the Colts kickers are out. They're just not part of it. Like, field goals are out. So, yeah, I would be very, very careful with that. Ravens, they could be kicking field goals at any time because they're comfortable with both sides. The Colts, they might be out of it.
Go ahead, Alex.
Just to go back to Andrews really quickly and the tight ends, I would also caution, I wanted to mention this, the Colts defense has actually defended really well against opposing tight ends, both historically the last few years and this year. They've only given up 160 yards to the position this season. I think that's the third fewest total, and they've only given up 18 receptions to opposing tight ends this entire season. So that defense, one of their strengths is defending opposing tight ends. So.
Yeah, that's all really good stuff. Always jump in. You know that. Great stuff by you, Alex. All right, I've got our winner for our glass and our T-shirt. I know many of you out there want this. They are limited edition. Very few people have them. At KLucasSC. At KLucasSC. Congratulations. There are now, it's our biggest audience we've ever had. Over 1,300 people are watching live right now. We've got to get to 1,000. We've got to give away this action figure, and I want to do it tonight. Let's get to 1,000 in the next couple of minutes. We are so close. Remember, if you're watching the show and you can't comment, you've got to follow our YouTube channel because there's so many people now that are part of this. We've got to limit it somehow. So follow our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost you anything. And then you can jump in and you can talk all night long. I see you, Ryan Faustino. Todd's there. Jason's there. Kevin Coleman. Scott. I refuse to give a shout out to Noah Stanley. I refuse to do that. All right, let's move on. More props. Doyle over 16.5 yards. Anybody? M squared, you're shaking your head.
It's interesting. So there's a lot of talk about Mo Alley-Cox. He got the usage last week. The only thing to note there is it was very, very small sample size. And Jack Doyle was on the injury report all week last week. He is not on the injury report here. I think that there's a shot that Jack Doyle becomes the number one tight end again this week. You're looking at 1 to 2 catches, but the Ravens give up the most. I'd say the most. So the top 2 or 3 in terms of number of targets and yards to the tight end position. A lot of that, again, is by design. They're blitzing. They're getting the ball out a little quicker. They're not taking deep shots down the field. So I think it's totally fine. To be honest with you, I don't hate the idea of playing the over on both Doyle and Mo Alley-Cox.
Okay.
I do not really envision a scenario where they both fail to meet their numbers. And the numbers are low enough that it's literally doable in one catch for both of them. And we think that we're going to have a game script where it's going to allow them to get there. So I know it sounds like a lot to be playing Nyheim Hines, Mo Alley-Cox, and Jack Doyle all over, but it is relatively correlated here in this game, especially if you're in the camp that thinks that Humphrey's going to lock down Michael Pittman.
All right. I just played Jack Doyle live here on the show. I just put the bet in. And also I got very distracted because when I am happy and I am positive and you guys are positive, it's been a long day for all of us here at the brand, but we just made history. I need you all right now. If you're in the comment section, we have hit 1,000 likes, but here's what I'm going to do. I need you to type The Rock in the comment section in the next 3 to 4 minutes. Okay. We're 4 minutes from the top of the hour. So you got to type The Rock because I kind of look like him with my action figure and your Twitter handle. And then we are going to arbitrarily select one person and you will win. Take Alex Single there, jeweler. Take Alex Single. And you're going to win that coach action figure. And Alex, I want you to autograph it.
All right.
I want you to autograph it. All right.
It's coming courtesy of Prop Stars Express.
I'll be honest with you. I thought that it would take us a few weeks to give that away. I really, really did. But that shows how – go ahead, Alex.
I was just going to say Prop Stars Express. I might deliver this to you if you're in the Pacific Northwest. I might show up at your door with props, with a bag of props, with Coach's action figure.
Can you actually hold props in a bag? Can you actually bring props to the door?
I'm bringing propsicles. I'm bringing every prop imaginable, fellas. So yeah, you might get me at your door with Coach's action figure. So yeah, this is going to belong to someone very shortly. I could not be more excited.
Oh man, my God, this has been the greatest giveaway we've done next. But I have a feeling you've got another one in your back pocket that you're going to bring out in the next week or so. I see all of you, Chris, David, Daniel, Justin, Sean, John, you're typing The Rock in your Twitter handle. I'm going to give it away at exactly, it's 7:58. I'm going to give it away at exactly 8:05, okay? I'm going to give it away at 8:05. So all of you got to hang for 8 more minutes because you know what's coming up at the top of the hour. You know what's coming up at the top of the hour. So, and by the way, the bosses just texted me again. Can you let me do a show without bothering me one time? Damn. All I'm doing is breaking records and they can't. I'm dead serious. EK, another one of our bosses, just texted me right in the middle of a show. It's so annoying sometimes. So annoying, but I love it. I love every second of it. All right, we are 2 minutes from the top of the show. Let's get a couple more props in. Now everybody's worried about the action figure. They're not asking about any props, but I've got a couple I want to get to. Because of big name guys, we talk about all the time. Sammy Watkins is a name that people love to play because he's been around for a while, Chiefs, different teams. So tonight, his number is 3.5. I know it's going to go to game script. Does anybody, people love to play him because it's plus 111, you know?
He averages, let me say, well, I was going to say, he averages 7 targets a game, every game. He averages 4 catches a game, every game. Like, if you look at his numbers, it is as consistent as there is. So, tough one. Vegas is right on it here.
I would say just be cautious with it here. We don't know what's going to happen with Miles Boykin returning to the lineup. It's the first game he's been active for. I do like Watkins' ability to be versatile. I think that he can and will end up running snaps and routes from the slot. So I think that he's still going to be out there, but in a game where they could, like, this thing could get ugly. Wentz could throw a pick very early. They could be up 2 touchdowns and running the ball, running the clock very quickly. It's kind of in that same camp as Mark Andrews. I think they're still going to take the deep shots to Marquise Brown. But for me personally, I'm going to sit out and watch on the Watkins one, just because I think out of all of the receivers in this group, he's the one that's still the most vulnerable to lose some of it to Miles Boykin.
Okay, very good. What about Taylor? Over 100.5 combined total rushing and receiving yards. It's an odds boost at Caesars.
I don't love the prop personally. Taylor has been good. He had his coming out party last week. Finally, I was on that as well, but that was against a Miami Dolphins run defense that has been bottom of the league this year, just been absolutely terrible. I do like Taylor a lot, but what I don't like is the offensive line for the Colts, and this is also a brutal matchup. The strength of the Ravens defense is still their front. They're tenacious. They're very big up front. They shut down running lanes, and they're playing against just an overmatched, banged up, decimated Colts offensive line. So yeah, I do not love this. I do expect him to get some targets in the passing game, but I just don't think the volume is going to be there for him to go over this total. And I also don't think that the necessary rushes that will require him to go over this total will be there either. So
okay. Very good. I feel like tonight, because we don't know what Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are going to do, I feel a lot of hesitation on a lot of different props. And we always tell you, sometimes the best bets you make are the bets that you do not make. So
no, I'm sorry, Coach. I was just going to say, I think you're right. However, I think where there is some fertile ground here is probably with some of the receivers for the Ravens. I know we keep talking about, especially me, about negative game script, positive game script. Are they going to need to pass in the second half? I still think Lamar is going to pass the ball. They're not going to be able to get much of a pass rush on Lamar Jackson. You got Kwity Paye is out for the game. On the back end, they're banged up too. Rock Ya-Sin is not playing in this game either. So it's just one of those things where I think the fertile ground here is probably with the receiving options for Lamar. So, I mean, I think it's maybe the Nyheim Hineses of the world and maybe some of the easy targets, like maybe your Jack Doyles and maybe your Michael Pittmans. And then on the other side of the ball, it's probably not with the running backs. It's probably not with Lamar's legs necessarily, but probably with some of his receivers.
All right, great stuff. Very good information there. All right, now, sometimes when I bitch, good things happen for you at home. So here's what just happened. So EK, one of our bosses at SportsLine, and normally I get along with them, not today. But he said because he annoyed me live on the show, he's going to approve another pint class giveaway as a consolation prize to the 1,000 likes. So not only will we have the action figure, now we've got another pint glass we're going to give away courtesy of the bosses. So they're trying to get back in your good graces. It's not going to be that easy. We'll still take the glass. Now, we have crossed the top of the hour. It is 8 o'clock on the East Coast, 5 o'clock out here in sunny Southern California, where I get to live every single day. So it's that time of the show, and you know you love it. The time for the Van Jefferson Memorial first touchdown of the game picks. Now, here are the rules, because maybe you missed it. Week 1, my man M Squared, just as a throwaway. He was like, hey, is there a first touchdown? He goes, I like Van Jefferson. Boom, plus 4,000. The very next night, my man Sia, he says, Tyson Williams, plus 1,200. Boom, we cashed it again. Then we did it again the next week. So we do it every single primetime show. It's got to be plus 1,000 or above. Now, Alex, I'm going to come to you first. Talk to me. Talk to me.
I got you, Coach. Yeah, seeing Sia and Mike hit this, I am anxious to get in the mix. I know AB is too. So, yeah, we're going to do it soon. So, yeah, I got Mo Alley Cox over for the first touchdown prop. He's plus 2,400. He's coming off of a 2-touchdown performance last week against the Dolphins. He's a very difficult matchup at 6'5", 270. He's got some wheels, too. He ran a 4.7 40. He's very athletic. The Ravens linebackers struggle in coverage. Patrick Queen is not a great coverage linebacker at this stage in his career. The Ravens have given up the 5th most yards to the position to opposing tight ends. They've allowed 3 touchdowns to opposing tight ends this season. Noah Fant, Darren Waller, Travis Kelce all had touchdowns, all had big days against this same Ravens defense. Mike touched on earlier how this defense by design allows some tight end production. So, yeah, I like Mo Alley Cox at plus 2,400 for the first touchdown prop.
And I just put him in. For those of you wondering, well, if they give me 4, do a little sprinkle on all 4. And if one hits, you got cash money. I love it. A little sprinkle on all 4. By the way, Red Sox just hit a 3-run home run. They're up 3-0 on the Rays. Real-time scoring here on the early edge. Now, see ya. I'm coming to you, Rockstar. What do you got?
So I wasn't impressed with a lot of the kind of the lower odds. So I'm going to swing for the fences here. And this is one of those situations where, just like last week with Donald Parham, like these guys might not actually be on the field, but they are active. So I'm going to give you 2, but one is 40-1 and the other is 65-1. So
wow,
these are
okay.
This is very sprinkle friendly. You know, I'm not giving you there's no lock here, obviously. Okay. So the first guy, I've mentioned him twice already on the show. His name is James Prochet. Now, he came in sort of later in the game, but I think last week, but I think he's kind of carving out a role. He's made some really amazing catches. He's a really good product out of SMU, I believe. And I think, even with Miles Boykin active, I think he's going to get into this game before Miles Boykin does, just because of the situation with Boykin. And I think you could potentially see him on the field early in the game because of what he has done recently. He's 40-1 in some books, but 50-1 in a lot of books as well. So you can check the Caesars number. That's not what I'm looking at right at this moment. I've seen it at 40. I've seen it at 50. Here's the other guy at 65-1. The Ravens can get a little gimmicky here, okay? And especially near the goal line when you're expecting Lamar Jackson, or the read option where he just hands it to Latavius Murray or Tyson Williams, or Patrick Ricard at 65-1. Sprinkle Patrick Ricard, sprinkle James Prochet. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, and that's it. Let's have some fun. Not every pick has to be serious. With that being said, M Squared, I'm coming to you. I need your Van Jefferson pick, but also people are screaming in the comments section. They're like, where is my same game teaser, my same game parlay? And hang tight, too. We're going to give away that action figure in the next couple of minutes, but I got to get to this first. So, M Squared, can you do both for me right now, please?
Yes. First, I will say I love the pick by Sia. That's definitely someone who's always involved in these games, especially now that like Le'Veon is not active. Tyson Williams is someone that I love. He may or may not even see the field tonight, even though he is active. So I'll give the first one, though. I gave Tyson Williams this afternoon on Twitter at 40-1 plus 4,000. It's now down to 2,500. I think it should still be 2,200. If he's the starter, this number should be 1,200 in this game. So we're going to roll the dice a little bit, hope that he is starting. And then the other one that I'm going to play is sticking with the same exact thought process of Alex here. I'm going to Jack Doyle. I'm looking that the Colts, they're going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets in this, especially against this. Some of it's going to be blocking schemes. Some of it's going to be ones where they both run routes. But when they're facing a blitz like this, they're going to have Nyheim Hines in the backfield blocking. They're going to have the 2 tight ends on the field. And I like Jack Doyle here. I think that he's healthy again. I think that there's, again, a chance that he becomes the primary tight end again here in this spot. So that is going to be my other one. I believe it's still 28-1 on Jack Doyle.
Very, very good. I'm going to come back to you for the same game teaser and parlay so we can get to AB, and then I've got to give away that action figure. You guys have been amazing. And by the way, Cody, the way you don't win it is by saying you want to put the action figure in a Bills case. That's how you don't win it. Anyway, AB, what do you got for us?
Yeah, Coach, let me say this. I hate this shaved face. And also, it's about the same amount that Sammy Watkins hates the feeling that he might lose his job, because M Squared is exactly right. Like, he's fighting for his reps right here. Sammy Watkins has taken one to the crib early. He's going to let everybody know that he's still a vet. He's still a pro. It's 12-1. It's not great odds in terms of what we've given out. Sammy Watkins, that's your guy.
All right, Sammy Watkins. So a quick recap: Mo Alley Cox, James Prochet, Patrick. I can't even read my own writing. Tell me that again. The 65-1 there, Sia.
Patrick Ricard.
Oh my God, I can't even write Ricard right. Jack Doyle, Tyson Williams, and Sammy Watkins, and of course, AB gives us the lowest odds of the entire game. You stink. You absolutely stink. By the way, Ricard is 45-1 at Caesars if you're looking for it. Okay, the time has arrived, and I'm shocked. I am blown away. Our community that we are growing here on the show and at the brand is absolutely awesome. All right, with that being said, here is our winner of the coach. No, I'm going to do it reverse. Here's the pint class winner first. Got to do the grand prize second. All right, at Paul_Dotson. At Paul_Dotson, you have won the bonus pint courtesy of the bosses. Not from me, it's from the bosses. I will not take credit for that. All right, now, hold it up there, Alex. Here is the Coach action figure, limited edition, still in the box, and Prop Stars will autograph it as Prop Stars. Here is your winner. At Eroth50. At Eroth50. You have won. There you go. You have won. Very, very limited edition. But don't fret if you didn't win tonight. Trust and believe. We're going to have several different things we're going to give away here on the shows, and Prop Stars is our guy. So he'll send that out to you. He'll get it autographed. And thank you all so very much, all of you that were in the chats tonight. Amazing. We broke a record, and let's continue to break records as the community grows. All right, we've only got 5 minutes left before the game starts. So quickly, let's go back around. We've got to do our exact picks, and then we got to get out of here. So give your official picks on the show because a lot of new people have come into the chat. Alex, go.
Yep, I've got Nyheim Hines over 22.5 receiving yards. Mike C and I all like this props. He is on the receptions, though. But yeah, I love Nyheim Hines in this offense, in this matchup. The Ravens blitz as much as any defense in the league. They're super creative with how they do their blitzing. I think Hines is going to serve as a safety blanket and a security valve for Wentz tonight. So yeah, over 22.5 receiving yards, Nyheim Hines.
My man. See ya.
Yeah, same thing. Nyheim Hines, except it's the receptions over 2.5. It might be juiced up to like -130, -140. I honestly would still take it. I agree. He's going to be a safety valve. Don't worry about the 2 catches against Miami. That was a positive game script. This is going to be a different story.
Mikey.
Yep, same play. Nyheim Hines over 22.5 receiving yards. Someone said it might be down to 20.5 on MGM. If so, I'm attempting to try and get that over there as well. And then I'm on Marquise Brown, longest reception over 22.5, over 23.5. I've got tickets on both of them. I would still play it up to 24.5. I think that they still take the deep shots to him, has a really, really great average depth of target, and is one of the best players in the NFL in terms of yards after the catch. I do think that they take a few deep shots to him here, especially with the home crowd. Give me Marquise Brown over 23.5 longest reception.
All right, very good. And those of you watching on YouTube right now, you can see all of our picks are up on the screen as we go through them. AB, bring us home.
Yep. Congratulations to everybody in the chat setting a record. That was fantastic. And congratulations to Lamar Jackson. Let's get over 233.5 passing yards tonight.
All right. Real quick, M Squared, give me that same game parlay or teaser that you got.
I had to delete it, Coach, because they've pulled all the receiver and props on there where I build it. But what I can throw it in again quickly. What I was looking at is Colts plus 16.5, over 36.5 points, under 56.5 points. So we're looking to middle between 36.5 in the game and 56.5 in the game. And then I'm looking for the Ravens to score 6.5 in the first half. And I'm looking for the Colts to score 2.5 in the first half. And that should come back over plus 200 at that point. So we're basically just on the game in terms of the outcome here. We're going to be plus 16.5 for the Colts, the total over 36.5, the total under 56.5, and then Ravens over 6.5 first half, Colts over 2.5 first half.
Man, people love these teasers of parlay. It's just a fun bet. It's just a fun bet to throw it together. And if it hits, it's a ton of fun. All right, we're 3 minutes away from the start of Monday Night Football. Real quick, because people love to bet this too. Team totals, Ravens 27, Colts 19.5. Anybody want to take it real quick before we do our final takes? Anybody have a feeling on one way or the other? We don't really know. I hear you. All right, let's go about it. We like to end every show with a 30-second take on what our cappers are most looking forward to in the game. Alex, let's start with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Nyheim Hines. I know we keep saying his name, but yeah, I'm expecting a big game out of him. I did double check that, Mike. He is 20.5 receiving yards on MGM. So if you can go get that bet in, I think it's absolutely wonderful. This game should be really fun. I love watching the Ravens play defense. I love watching Marlon Humphrey cover. So I'm going to be watching that matchup between him and Michael Pittman very closely.
Awesome. Matthew, Michael, I see you guys. I'm not going anywhere. They can't push me out of here. All right, see you. What do you got?
Big game for Lamar Jackson. The Colts are banged up, not only on offense, but on defense. Kwity Paye, their first-round pick, is out. Rock Ya-Sin is out. Coming out party for Lamar Jackson. He's going to hit a lot of receivers. It's going to be a good day.
Santana, I see your complaint there. Don't play it then. So many people don't. If you don't like the teasers too long, don't play it. Damn, you don't have to complain about it. All right, M Squared, what are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to giving long teasers next time. I'll make sure they're 9 legs in the future. But no, I'm looking forward to Nyheim Hines here. It has dropped to 20.5. I think he's fine. It's potentially around the speculation of the injury. He was on the injury report, but he practiced in full the last 2 days. I'm going to go ahead and grab some more at 20.5, and let's go Nyheim Hines.
All right, AB, I hate to have you be our anchor of the show, but I guess that's what you are tonight.
Hey, you know what? No pressure, no diamonds on everything. And let me say this. Everyone's focused on the Baltimore Ravens. Focus on the Indianapolis Colts because this AFC South race might become one team. Jags, Texans, they're already out of it. Colts, they're teetering there. So we'll see.
All right, here we go. The game starts in 1 minute. This is exactly what we do. How much fun was tonight? Thank you all so very much for making history. Thank you all for hitting that like button as much as we can. We love it. We love it. We're here every single day. Don't forget tomorrow, AB and the boys, you got your college football special at 2 p.m. Eastern right here on the YouTube channel that all of you subscribe to tonight. It's completely free. Turn on those notifications so you know every single time new content drops into your feed. We're growing, and we can't do it without each and every one of you. All right? That's going to do it. For my man, Prop Stars. Love that. See ya. M Squared, AB, even Noah Stanley. I'll shout him out too. And the jeweler. We'll work it out. Don't worry. We'll be good by tomorrow morning. I am the coach. We love this so much. There's only one thing left to do. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these Monday Night Football tickets straight to the pay window. Tell all your friends. There's only one sports betting brand of record, your favorite. We have a ton of fun, and we cash a lot of tickets. Tell them it's the Early Edge. Good luck. Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.